Okay. Yes. So we stopped at the web UI tool last time, and we were halfway there. So we will continue with that. Okay. So yes, guys. So just a brief recap. Uh, when you create your accounts, you get a specific URL for that account. Okay, each one of you must have got a URL which is unique. You have to use that particular URL always to log in with the user that you created at the time of account creation. Then in the URL, these parts, they have some specific meaning. Okay, so the one before the first dot, this is your account identifier. After the dot, this is your region, then your cloud provider, and then this is your snowflakecomputing.com, which is common for all. And if you see from this slide here, I have given an example. So account identifier is this XYZ12345 before the first dot, then comes your region, and then comes your account provider. Okay. And we, by default, there are predefined 5 roles which get allocated at the time of creation of the account, and the user that you create during that time, you get automatically allocated to 5 roles: account admin, sysadmin, public, security admin, and user admin. And account admin is the the most powerful amongst these. And by default, when you log in, you will be always allocated sysadmin role, but you can change as per your requirements. Okay. Now, quickly, let's see the menus, these menus. If you go to the databases here, firstly, whenever you create the account first time, you get some default databases from Snowflake side. Okay. So this demo DB is a default database. You can create your objects under this DB. Okay. If you hover over it, it will give you certain details, which you can see in the black screen here, right? Small screen. The database name, when was it created, and who is the owner. Okay, so the owner is sysadmin. Okay, then this is a Snowflake sample data. Basically, this is a data set given to you by Snowflake itself, where you can do your lot of performance testing or query writing. If you want to write some SQLs, it has given you predefined schemas here. A lot of schemas are here, and then if you open these schemas, you will see a lot of tables. This call center, customer, catalog, and all that. And if you hover over them, you can see some metadata like table, call center, created on what, how many rows are there, then size, what is the size, what is it clustered by. So all that clustering and all we'll see later when we come to that topic. But this is a metadata, right? And as we know, Snowflake's cloud service layer is supposed to be storing metadata of the objects. So this metadata is coming basically from that metadata store, which is residing in the cloud service layer. Okay, so if you want to see the data, like what all rows are there. So if you click on this 3 buttons here, you will find a few options: preview data, view details, and place name in SQL. So if you click on preview data, it will basically show you the data in the table. So whatever rows and columns information it has, it will show you that. So if you say want to view details, so these are the details here. Like what are the columns contained in that table? What are the data types? Okay, what kind of it is? What is it? A not null? Is it a primary key, unique key, or whatever? Okay, those metadata information will be given to you if you click on details. You can do from here also, here itself. If you go back to data, it will show you the data set. And if you want to fire a query, you can always go and do a select star from call center, or if you want the fully qualified name, basically when you write this way, database name dot schema name dot table name, this is nothing but a fully qualified name. We call it as fully qualified name. So if you want to do a query on this directly and you don't want to type this whole thing, you can just click the option place name in SQL, and then you can go and fire this query like this. Okay, so it will give you the data set. See, mind you, I have not selected so this worksheet I told you, this is the worksheet part here. In this pane, you can file your queries, update, delete, DLLs, functions, procedures, whatever. So this is the work area for you, or the workspace for you, where you will fire your SQL queries. So if you can, I had told you that this is the context area here, this whole thing, right? So here you have to set certain things like if you click on this, you can choose particular role, you can choose the warehouse that is required to run your queries. Then you need to also select database and schema if you want to run a query on certain table. But here it is not required because I gave the whole fully qualified name. Had I not given this, for example, if I remove this, it would say does not exist or something like that. Let me remove the codes also. See, it says does not exist or something like that. So if I choose, okay, so it is not in this, it is in Snowflake. It is in this schema, right? Yeah. So if I don't want to give a fully qualified name, I will have to choose the associated database and schema as well. But if you give the fully qualified name, you don't have to. Okay. So these are the default databases given to you. Okay, this data set is given to you by default. And if you see hover over it, if you see this, there is an arrow mark here. Okay, so this is, and if you see in the bracket near the database, it says Snowflake sample database, sample data, and bracket it says share. So basically, this particular Snowflake database does not belong to this particular account here. Okay, it belongs to some other account and it has been shared with us. Okay, if you see it says the origin is sfc underscore samples dot sample underscore data. So it is not, it is basically owned by Snowflake itself. Okay, so it shares every time you create an account. Okay, so this is basically for running your queries and testing out your queries. Basically, you can say it is for practicing. Okay, then this is your util DB. This is again, this database is created in your account. So you will not see any arrow also, right? And or you can see any share in the brackets when you hover on this. So this, and every database, any database that gets created in your account comes with two default schemas, information schema and public schema. Okay. So public schema is always empty. So I created this table for my other batch. So I created that. If you want to see this table, this database, see there are no tables. So this comes with public schema, which has nothing in it. Then information schema comes with system views. These views are provided by Snowflake. So this is also another topic where we will see what is the use of this schema. Okay. So two default schemas, information schema and public schema. Then each worksheet that you open is a separate session. This is one session. Okay. This is other session. And if you want to open another worksheet, that will be your other session. Okay. Let me go to databases. So these are default created databases. One is the share that we received. If you want to create databases, you can go create here and say sample underscore DB. Okay, and if you say show SQL, it will show you SQL also of how to create a database. So either you can create database through SQL or you can create it from the UI here, like I am doing. So if you do finish, this is your sample DB. Okay, and see, I created with the role sysadmin here. So the owner is sysadmin. So always remember in Snowflake, always the owner is a role. The owner is never a user. Okay, and this we are going to see in detail when we study about roles and users. The access control framework, as far as Snowflake is concerned, that time we'll study in detail. But you must have observed by now whatever I'm creating is getting owned by a role and not by the user. So this ABD31 Snowflake is my login user, but currently it is assuming the role of sysadmin. So that's why the whatever I create with sysadmin role, that role will become the owner of whatever object I create. Okay. So if I go to sample DB, if I click on the database that I created, it will give me more options that what I can create some tables under it. I can create views under it. I can create schemas under it. I can create stages. So I can create file formats, sequences, pipes, and all that. So we will be looking at all these in details. So if I want to create a table, I can create it through a SQL statement as well, or directly from the web UI also. So if I create, say, some table, and if you want to see, if you want to have that table as created by some other owner, okay, not this sysadmin owner, say maybe make me let me make it public. Okay. Okay, public doesn't have the privilege to create table, guys. Let me have account admin. Okay, now I have switched the role to account admin. Let's see if I create a table, say SF underscore batch details. Yeah, I'm creating under schema name public. Here I can add my columns, C1, then C2, C3, C4. Here I can use my data types, whatever data types I want. Okay. And whether I want to make it as not null, null, whatever. So I'm just creating a very, very basic table right now. So let me finish it. Okay. See, the table is created and the owner is account admin because I have chosen the role as account admin right now. So if I go back to my worksheets, okay, and this is my new worksheet I opened. So if I choose sysadmin, okay, I have chosen this context area as sysadmin. See, if I refresh it here, yeah. So if I open demo DB and if I open public, I will not be able to see that table, that SF sample which I created, right? Because it is not owned by the sysadmin. But if I go to account admin, and if I refresh, oh, I'm sorry, I created in sample DB, right? Sorry, let me change it back to sysadmin. Okay, so you see we had created sample DB as a database just now. And if you see, if I hover over it, you can see sample DB created date and owner as sysadmin, right? Then if I click it, I see the schemas and public. It says nothing. Now let me change the role here. And let me refresh it. See, it shows the SF back details because this is the owner. Unless I give the privilege to sysadmin, it will not be able to see. So anyway, we'll talk about that in more details, but I just wanted to show you here. So what we'll do, guys, I will not create it under public default. Let me create a schema separately. Okay, we can create a separate schema. So let me drop this. So if I select it, I can have various options on it also, like transfer ownership, drop, load data, and all that. So let me first drop it as of now. I dropped it. So what we will do is we created sample. So we can go back to databases list from here also. So I am on this menu right now. Okay. So I get the list of the databases. I can go to the database I select. So sample DB I will select and I will create a separate schema. Okay. And so I click on schema here and I'll say create. And let me just create it with one role only, all sysadmins. Okay. So I will create schema, say sample underscore schema, finish. Okay. So this is also important what I'm showing right now. This is your account. That ON 4545165. Under this, I have users, right? Users. So at the time of creation, I created only one user, right? At the time of creation, which is ABD31 Snowflake. Okay. Then I have roles. Roles, and in roles I have default roles. I have 5, right? Account admin, then sys admin, public, security admin, user admin. Okay. I can, so these are the default. I can create more. Okay. Then what we saw, we have database. We have databases. Okay. Databases. Databases. Okay. Under databases, we have schemas. So let's consider this database as SF sample DB, the one we created. Okay, sample underscore DB. Then we created one schema under it, sample schema. This is my schema. This is my sample underscore schema. Okay, so if I go to the worksheet now and I refresh, okay, I need to change the role here. Everything I'm creating using the roles sysadmin, okay, for the easiness of explaining. See, so sample schema is appearing here, and there is nothing in it as of now. Okay, so under the schema, we will be creating. So now we have schemas here. We have created this sample schema. Okay, I've selected sample schema. Now I'll create one table. Okay, so let's create and say sample underscore table schema. So see, I have to select a schema. Okay, so that means table will come under the schema. I will select, and as you can see, there is no information schema coming, although it is present or created as a default. It does not come here because you don't have a right operation privilege on it. Okay, so sample schema, I'll add few columns. I'll add 4 columns here. Finish. I created a table. Let me go back and refresh it. So I have a sample table here. So under this schema, I have a table. Table, which is sample underscore table. So this is how you can create. So you can create now, you can go and create a view also. You can create schemas. We just created one. Stages also, you can create file formats. So file format is basically an object. Okay. Again, it has to be under a database and schema. So here you can create a file format. Basically, suppose you have a file which is say CSV. Okay, so you can create a file format object, and this object will basically mean that this is my CSV format file. It is basically defining the properties of a particular file. Okay, so what are the properties of a file? So we are creating an object of that. Okay, so what is my, so I'll say this is my CSV format. Okay, I will choose a schema, say sample schema. What is the format type? So see, these are the different formats which Snowflake supports. So CSV is your structured format or data type. Then JSON, XML, Avro, ORC, Parquet, these are all semi-structured. Okay, so these are all formats which you can load into Snowflake. Okay, so CSV, we'll just go with CSV as of now. What is the compression method? Auto, gzip, deflate, or whatever. You can select it. Then what is the separator, column separator? Is it a vertical bar? Is it a tab? Is it none? Or is it something else? And you can, give like this also, if it is something else. So let's say it is comma only in our case, okay? Then what is the row separator? I mean, what each row is separated by? You can have the different options. Do you want to skip the headers? I mean, how many header lines do you want to skip? If you have the structure of the column also present in your file, the column names are there. So you want to skip that first row, right? So you can say how many to skip. So are your fields enclosed with double quotes or single quotes? Do you have a null string? So do you want to denote that your null string will be basically denoted by these? If you want to mention null in your file for some value, you can give these values. So you will have to say, okay, if you find these values, consider it as a null. Okay. Uh, okay. So do you want to trim space before and after? If you have a field which has space before it and after it, so do you want to trim it while loading? So this will create this is basically creating a property of a file, and it is created as an object. So if I finish, and same thing, you can create through a SQL also, guys. So if I do edit here, you can always edit the properties, go back and edit also. And if I show you SQL, so right now it is showing as alter because I've already created it. Had I not, wait, had I not created it and shown you the SQL, it would have shown you the create format also. Let me again create it for you. Yeah. So see, create file format, which database and schema, your custom name, what is the type, and other options. Okay, so close. I'll create it. Finish. That is done. Now let's go back and see here. Okay, so here it will only show you tables and views. Okay, it will not show you the file formats. But if you go back to your databases, if you click on sample DB, and if you want to go and check your file formats, you will find it here. Okay, so where did we create the file format? So we created it under database in a schema. This schema. Here we created it. File format. So whatever options you are seeing here, views, schemas, stages, file format, sequences, pipes, they all will be created under database, under schema, and then they will be residing under the schema of that particular database. Okay, so this is all about databases, guys. Now, if you want to say load a file, so you can load it through VUI also, web UI also, and there are some other ways also of loading. So we will be seeing those in detail. Data loading is a separate topic. But if you want to load certain data, you can load from web UI also. So you can click this load data here. You have to allocate warehouse. I told you always we need to allocate a warehouse for any kind of compute processing. Although it is not entirely true, but 90% of the times you have to do it. Okay. Next, source file. You have to select the file that you want to upload. So I have, just for sample purpose, I had created one very small file. Okay. So I selected one file, snowflake batch.txt, and I'll show you also what that file is. So this is just from one of the earlier batches. I had created a file of my student names and batch and year and all that. So I've selected that file, and it's a comma separated file, as you can see, right? And there is no header. So if I say next, and see, it says file format. Which file format you want to select? What are the properties of your file? So I have chosen this, or if I click on that, it will ask me to create a file format if I have not created it. So this file format is required when you are loading a file, right? So it is mandatory. Then next, load options. What should the load do if encounters an error while parsing file? So if you have get an error while loading the file, so what should you do? So do not load any data in the file. Stop loading, roll back and return the error. Do not load any data in the file. If the error count exceeds, you can give a threshold of some count that, okay, if 10 records have error, then don't do it. Don't load it. Then continue loading valid data from file. So whatever row has error, skip it and continue loading. So all these options, either of them you can choose. And this will also create a SQL. You can do directly from here also or through SQL also. And for so don't worry about this. I don't want to confuse you right now. Just leave it as it is. But this also you can do through SQL. Okay. So right now I am loading the data from web UI. And if I click say load, it's processing. It encrypts the files first. See the result. 4 rows parsed and 4 rows loaded also. So if we go back to the table, see if I click on the table, they have come. This is the data type or the metadata. If I go here and want to preview data, I can fire the queries also, guys. I can go ahead. Okay, let me do query way only. Sample underscore table. I have to select the database. Sample DB schema is sample schema. Okay, and I have to select compute whatever warehouse. I can create a warehouse as well of my own. Okay, see, so data has got loaded. Okay, so always remember, Snowflake recommends to load data from web UI up to 50 MB size only. Okay, it does not allow, I mean, it's not that it does not allow, but it recommends. This is just for a testing kind of purpose, the facility given to you. Okay, so the bulk data loading will not be done through this option. You need to remember this. It might be asked in certifications. This is just for loading a very small file for your analysis purpose or your testing purpose, testing out your queries or whatever you want to. If you don't want to go for the hassles of creating, you know, configuring stuff for your bulk data loading, you don't want to do those hassles. You just want to quickly load a small file and test. You can use this data loading option from web UI. Okay, and Snowflake recommends 50 MB size. And if you go to the Snowflake documentation, go from web loading using the web. Okay, so if we go here, so see the wizard is only intended for loading small number of files limited up to 50 MB. Okay, and why is it so? Because the file size limit is intended to ensure better performance, because browser performance varies from computer to computer and between different browser sessions. So it is basically also the memory consumption required to encrypt larger files might cause a browser to run out of memory and crash. So you saw when we were loading the file, it first encrypted the file and then it loaded. Okay, so basically that kind of security is provided when you bring your file into Snowflake. First they are encrypted before getting loaded into the table. So all that, if it is a very big file, it might consume a lot of memory, and also it might crash your browser. Okay, it might make it into a hang state. So Snowflake recommends you to load up to 50 MB only. So this is the reason. So yeah, you can try out loading small files and, you know, get that high of loading data. Yeah, I loaded some data, right? The excitement. Then there's this shares. This is a separate topic, and this is nothing but when different accounts share databases with you, with your account, or you share with them. Vice versa also is possible, which in our case they have already shared one. Go to the worksheet. This is the one, Snowflake sample data, right? This is the one. So they have shared with us. So that is nothing but a share. Okay. And yeah, I'm not getting the option of creating share. I think it's with the account admin. Yeah, see, so account admin basically has the privilege to create a share, which is why earlier you were not seeing the screen. Okay, it was just showing us that picture. So here, from here you can create a share. Okay, so this is a separate topic. You will see how to do that. And these are the different shares. Sample data we already saw. Then account usage is one share. Then this COVID-19 star schema. If you remember, I had basically created it from the data marketplace, where you can get a lot of data sets for your analysis. Okay, and if you see in the worksheets, that was not getting shown earlier because the owner is not sysadmin. The owner is account admin for that, because we had exported that data using the account admin role, if you guys remember. See, now it is showing. Okay, and this is also a share. You see this arrow mark, and if you see that bracket, it is written share. So this is basically shared by some other account with us. So if this is our account here, so uh, there might be some other account somewhere. This might be some other account. Let's call it star schema. Star schema, and say it has its COVID database here. Okay, this is my COVID-19 database. Okay, so it has basically shared with us. So we can query data there. I mean, not with this database, with our account. Let's say like that. That is about shares. Data marketplace, I've already shown you how to export data from there. Then this is your warehouses. Okay. We created one test warehouse that time, last week, right? So this is where you can create warehouses as well. So this is the create button, and again through SQL also you can create it. So you can give any name you want, test whatever. Then I had told you in the beginning, we studied that warehouse comes in various sizes: extra small, small, medium, large, X large, and on and so on. And X small means one node per cluster. Small means two nodes per cluster. Medium means four nodes per cluster, and so on. And credits are also equal to the nodes only. So one credit. So if you use this extra small size, and if you use it for 1 hour, you will be basically consuming one credit. Okay, and one credit is multiplied by the dollar amount based on the addition that you have, based on the region you have hosted your Snowflake account in, and those factors. So we have seen that Snowflake pricing website, and we saw how it is, right? So yeah, so here you can choose the clusters, the amount of clusters you want in your warehouse. So if you see from this perspective, this is also under account. So if you say these are my warehouses, okay, these are my warehouses. Warehouses. Okay, then suppose which warehouse do we have? We have this test underscore v, sorry, test underscore v warehouses. So if you click on it, and you want to change its properties, if it has been already created, you can go ahead and click on configure. Okay, so you can change something here if you want. So say we had created this last time. Okay, so guys, whenever you create your account, the default warehouse already created let me suspend it already created by Snowflake is compute warehouse. and it automatically gives you whenever you create an account. But you can create more warehouses as per your requirement. So this is the one we created last time. Okay, so we created a warehouse called test underscore VH, right? Test underscore V, or VWH, okay. And what is it? It is an extra small, sorry, this is compute warehouse. This is extra small, that means one node per cluster. And how many clusters we said that we want? 2 clusters. So it will basically have, sorry, it will have 2 clusters. Cluster 1, cluster 2, and under that there will be one node because we have extra small, one node. Okay. We have an extra small. So this is called extra small 2 node, sorry, 2 cluster. Correct? Now, at any point in time, you can always resize it. This is when you change the size, it is called as resize or scale up also. And at any point in time, you can go and change the number of clusters, either decrease or increase as per your requirement. And that is called as scale out. Okay. So remember one, you will, and obviously you will know that the other one is whatever. So if you remember that scale up is changing the size, so obviously scale up will be changing the number of clusters. So remember just some one and you will remember the other as well. This is the minimum number of clusters, that is uh, uh, when you start your warehouse out. So you said I want 2 maximum clusters, but when you start your warehouse, how many of them do you want them activated? Okay, so the number of active clusters. So you say 1. So basically when I start my warehouse, it will activate one of them. Okay. But if there is a requirement of the other cluster also to be activated, Snowflake will do that automatically for you. You don't have to do it.
Abdul, sorry for
Yeah.
interruption.
Yeah.
Can you go back to your UI?
Yeah.
So when you choose size small, extra small, you are able to maximum spin up 10 clusters, right?
For any size, it's 10 only. If I go to X large,
Oh.
then also it's 10.
So the limitation is only 10 clusters.
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, got it.
So this will be, if this is extra large, if I choose extra large, that is 16 nodes per cluster. So in 10 clusters, it will be how many? 160, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
160
that
nodes.
way. Yeah. So yeah, so minimum cluster is about how many number of clusters do you want to be active once you start your warehouse. Then there is something called a scaling policy. So this basically, the scaling policy decides how your clusters will be activated and how they will, basically how they will start and how they will shut down. That is what is scaling policy, and that has 2 options, standard and economy. So we're going to look at that in detail as well. Then auto suspend has uh, like for example, your cluster is working or your warehouse is working, it has done the query processing, now it is sitting idle. So for how long do you want it to be idle before it suspends itself? Okay, so that amount of time you're giving to uh, the warehouse, that only this much idle time is permitted for you. After that, if you have no work, you will automatically get suspended. Okay, so these are the minimum and maximum values. I'll choose 5 minutes. And auto resume is basically once a query request comes to this warehouse and it is say in a suspended mode. So it will, if you set this property as auto resume, it will automatically start. You don't have to go and manually start it. So if I click on this hint here, see what it says. It says if the warehouse is suspended, it will automatically resume it will be automatically resumed the next time a query is issued. Okay, so that's what it means. And this is how you create a configure a warehouse, and you can create many warehouses as per your requirement. So if you have an ETL process, you can create a ETL process warehouse for yourself. If you have, if you want to give development team a warehouse, you can give dev warehouse, you can give QA warehouse, or if you want to give to your analyst team or reporting people who want to generate reports, you can create a reporting warehouse for them. Okay, with separate configurations as per their uh, requirement, and that's how you can also save cost. Cool. So this is all about warehouses, guys. And this also has owners. So with whoever you created, it will be that owner. Okay. So I have created this with account admin. So if I scroll here, see account admin. I created that with account admin, but the default warehouse which was given to us by Snowflake when we created the account, that was created by sysadmin. So that's how it is. So if this grants and all comes, when you click on that object, this grants and all come. But if you want to remove this, just double click again. So it will go back. So this is your warehouses. Worksheets, I already told you. You can have many worksheets created and do your work. Okay. Each worksheet will have an independent session, and you will be able to see the databases you want to work on the left side here. And also you will find a context here, context area, which you have to set with each worksheet when you want to work on a certain objects. Okay, that is about worksheets. Now, see one thing, observe carefully. I'm changing the role to sysadmin. Okay, before that, let me go to this history tab. So this basically shows you the history of the queries that you have fired, all these. Okay, so whatever queries you have fired, it will show you. It will give you the details, and each query will be having a unique query ID, which will get generated for each query. Okay, this will be SQL text. This is the query that you fired, which user fired. That also it will show which warehouse you had used. Okay, what was the size, and each worksheet session ID will also be shown. Basically, in which session ID was that query fired, start time, end time. Okay, and from where did you fire? So this we fired from Snowflake UI. So this is your Snowflake UI. So if had you fired it from say some external ODBC client, so from some Python or Java, that also it will show you here that you fired from there. Okay, so basically the client from where you fired the query, that it is showing. And there is a separate topic for going through all the nitty-gritties of query history also. So we will that time look. This is just for some information in the beginning for you. You can add a filter also. You can change. You can filter it based on these columns: status, user, warehouse, whatever. Then you can say you can choose the values. For example, if it is a status can have running, succeeded, failed, queued, blocked, or it could be any of these. Okay, but if you choose a user, say user, so it will show you the list of users. ABD31 Snowflake, ABD31 S1. This is the one I have created, and this is the default user that we get. So uh, you can choose which particular users queries you want to see. So this way you can filter out also. Okay, so this is about the query histories. So this keeps the query histories which you have fired for the past few days. Okay, so we'll be going in more details in the subsequent sessions for this particular tab. Now look at this here. Till here, it's all over databases to history, but there's more. Okay, so let me change the role here. Let me go back to account admin. You see a new tab here, account. Okay. So on this tab, only account admin has the privilege. Okay. So if you, I mean, use security admin also can see that account, but it does not have the privileges, I guess, to create something under that. So if you go with sysadmin, you will not see that. See, it's not there. Okay. Let me go back to account admin again and show you. So we'll see that tab also. So see, there are two tabs, account and notifications. Only account admin is being able to see. See, account admin, account and notifications. Let me change the rule. Sysadmin I will make. See, both of them are gone. So sysadmin doesn't have the privilege to access those uh, tabs. If I go to public, it also doesn't have. If I go to security admin, it has access to account but no notifications. If you see the last one, user admin, it also has to nothing, neither account nor notification. So let me go back to account admin to show you those tabs. And always remember, guys, whenever you log in, the first time when your account is created, the default role that you will log in with will be sysadmin always. So if you look at your web UIs, respective web UIs, you will see that you are assigned this role in the beginning. But you can change. As I am changing here, I can switch anytime. Let me go to account and see. So account is one tab where you get to see your usage. So see this usage, my warehouses, how much credits they have consumed. The usage tab here. It will show this is my account, right? ON45, this one here in the URL also. And see usage by day, all warehouses. So if I click on compute warehouse, I will see the usage over the period of time. Okay. Then for test warehouse, for automatic clustering warehouse, so this thing we will study later. Then ATL warehouse, this was there. I think it is with some other owner is someone else, I guess. Then there is a cloud service warehouse, guys. So all that management, optimization, metadata storage, the management between compute warehouse and storage that is being done right by the cloud service layer. So this is its warehouse for the cloud service layer, cloud services only. Okay, and as you know, it doesn't get charged much. Up to 10% of the warehouse, compute warehouse, they don't charge. If you remember in the earlier Snowflake pricing, we had checked. Okay, let me just go back to refresh your memory. Yeah. See, cloud service call resources are automatically assigned by Snowflake based on the workload. Typical utilization of cloud services up to 10% of daily compute credits is included for free. Customers will not see incremental charges for cloud service usage. Okay. So this is most of the time free, but daily 10% of the daily compute, it will be free. Otherwise, if it exceeds, obviously you will be charged. And you can see from daily basis, uh, like on what day, how much credits were used. If you can just click on this, it will show you in the bar chart kind of analytics where you can see the visualization timing wise, between what time it was used, credits used by the hour and all that. Okay, so you can do that. If you go to billing, it will ask for I mean, this is our trial account, so it is not asking right now. But once we expire this trial account and all that, so it will ask for us to add the credit card, and here it will show you how much amount you have to pay also. Okay, then account, under account you have users also. So see, this is the one I had created during the account creation. Then this one I created, and this one This one is expired, but this one was not created by us. If you also go and check to users, you will see this. Okay. So if you see the hierarchy here, under the account, I have the users. Then there are roles. These are the default roles, and org admin is also there, but it is not assigned guys directly. Okay, if you go here in the switch roles, you did not see that role, right? So this, when you create the account for the first time, you have to contact Snowflake support. Okay, Snowflake support, you have to tell them I want org admin. Okay, and then they will give you the org admin access, and then you will be able to see here. Okay, but I am not doing that because we are just doing it for the learning purpose. Because I don't want to ask why, when, this and that. I don't want to get into that. So once you have that, you will see that your particular user is getting that role also. Using that role, you can create custom-based accounts. So this particular account that we created, this ON4565, whatever, that is not in our hands, right? To choose the name. That was created by default by Snowflake only, this one. But if you want to create customized accounts for your organization, okay, so this, let me open one more page. So how it works is, so you created one account in the beginning. See, suppose this is your account, okay, whatever account name it is, let's see ACC1. Now you want to create some customized accounts, more customized accounts like this with some specific names. This one, whatever it might be, I'm just taking it, hypothetically. It could be like what, maybe automobiles, mobiles. You know, this could be machinery account. This could be your finance account. The hierarchy now remains the same. Like whatever in the account will come, like users, roles, databases, warehouses, and all that, they also will be coming in the same under these accounts. Their own respective objects will be there. Okay, and this whole thing. So when you get an org admin role, you can create this customized named accounts. Here you will have your customized name. Instead of Snowflake generating for you, you can create it. Whatever name. You can have automobiles here. You can have Infosys underscore HR, Infosys underscore sales, up to you. Okay. And this whole thing actually comes under an organization, which is why the org admin role. This whole thing is in the organization, which is why the role's name is also org admin. So see guys, organization, it can have multiple accounts, and accounts can have these objects, users, roles, databases, and all that. So this is how the hierarchy looks. You can, and as per Snowflake, it says you can have up to 25 accounts created. Okay, but if you want more, you can contact the Snowflake support team. Okay, by default, org admin is not given to us. We have to contact Snowflake support. Okay, guys. So,
Abdul, sorry,
yeah.
sorry for stopping you. So you mean to say we cannot create an organization at all?
No.
So we have to request Snowflake, and they will create the organization. They will attach the accounts belongs to the particular organization. They will assign the role, org admin role, to the accounts. Whatever we say, okay, this all the account should be an admin for those organizations. Those
Yeah.
information.
So this
Those,
org admin will be given to user, some user, no, not account.
yeah, but the user should belong to some account, right?
Yeah. So it will belong to some account.
Yeah.
It will belong to
Correct.
this account.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, got it. Yeah.
And you see they already default, they create an organization when you create the account.
Oh, yeah.
So without organization, account can't be there.
Okay. Even if you create a single account, there will be organization.
Yeah,
The
yeah.
account will be under some organization, default organization.
Default. You can change this also. I mean, by contacting Snowflake support.
Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay. And under organization, you can now create multiple accounts like this. But for that, you need to one of your users needs to have org admin role. Then only you can create other accounts. Okay. See, even it says here, organization administrator can manage organizations and accounts in organizations. That's what
So
that
we have
role.
to switch to the role of
Yeah.
org admin, where we will see the create accounts and all,
Yeah, yeah.
right?
So once you have this org admin here, and if you select it, it will start giving you options here, like
Oh,
create account, and all those other options will start coming.
yeah. Thank you. Yeah.
So if you
And
want, you can contact Snowflake support for yourself and tell them I want to see how it happens. And it is anyway a one-time activity. As a developer, we will not be doing that because all this will be set for us anyway. Okay, but I think Shiva, you are on a more senior role, so maybe you might ask for them. I mean, others actually don't require it much, and it is only a one-time setup. Okay, not very important. But just for our knowledge purpose and to understand the hierarchy, that is important. Like what comes under what. So under organization comes accounts. Under accounts, what does come? What does all the objects come? Under accounts comes users, roles, databases, and so on. So I'm trying to tell you the hierarchy, how the objects are, falling in a tree structure. Okay. Okay, so under the account tab, we came here roles, and if you see the hierarchy I had drawn, roles are under account, right? Then there are policies you can make, network policy, and so on. Then sessions, these are your sessions that you can see here. If you click the basically the worksheets that you had opened, right? All that. Then resource monitor is one object. We will see what it is. Then reader accounts is one object. It is related to data sharing also. So that also we will see in detail later on. Once we come to the data sharing topic, and resource monitor topic is also there. I mean, it is going to be coming very quickly in a matter of 2-3 sessions, I guess. So that time also we will see in detail what it is. But if you see all these objects, users, roles, policies, and all this will come directly under the account. Under the account, okay. And this will
Uh,
be only
uh,
enabled for account admin and use security admin. Yeah,
Abdul, this is Venkat Abdul.
yeah,
Yeah. See, for example, if I'm sharing maybe a database, so it is kind of a permanent share or it's kind of increment data. For example, if I'm pushing the data in from my owner database, it will display in the whatever the shared database or how it will be. In case I delete from the owner, it will still show in the shared or how it will be.
yeah. So you will have to wait for the data sharing topic because it is a very big topic. Okay, so once we come to data sharing topic, it's a completely separate topic. Then you will understand like how it happens, how we share data across other users and accounts. Okay.
Okay, okay, bro.
But if you see here, right, this particular, if I go back to shares here, so if you see something, there are two uh, categories, inbound and outbound. So inbound is that when your account is the inbound, like our account is inbound, and we have got COVID-19 database shared by some other account, Star Schema, to us. So this is an inbound for us. Okay. And outbound basically is when you share your data. So for example, you want to share your sample DB to some other account. Okay. So then that becomes outbound for us. This is our outbound. So That's how we share. So if I remove my database completely from here, then it will not be visible to the other accounts, because we are not picking this whole stuff and moving to account. We are just sharing it from our location only. Okay. So as you can see, if I go to this database here, worksheets, let me go here. Okay. Let me change the COVID. Okay, it has so many tables. Let me get one of the tables. You get a small table. This one is small. See, insufficient privilege.
Okay. And maybe while sharing the database, for example, if I have some
See,
HR
basically,
database.
if you see here, you cannot do anything on the database, which is shared,
Hmm.
because this is not our database.
Okay.
You can
So
only see data. Yeah.
yeah, understood. So another question is that, see, for example, if I have some HR database that may contain employee attendance and employee CTC and some confidential information also. So if I want to share only the employee attendance table alone from a database, is this possible?
Yes, yes, it is possible.
Okay.
That is possible. Just control your excitement for a bit later. You will see all the things. See, when you choose a database, you can choose tables also. Which table do you want to share? I want to share only this one. Okay, I can do that. So once, because this is a very big topic actually. I mean, you will have to create reader account. You will have to know what is consumer account. You will have to know what are secure views and all that, right? So once we come to that topic, we will definitely see everything in detail. But on a high level, I'm just telling you the meaning of all these tabs. So you get comfortable while working on the web UI. So just you need to know on a high level right now, like what is a share? I mean, share is nothing but you can share databases with various accounts. That's what it basically means. Okay. Yeah. So this is we just saw this tab, guys. Then we have a partner connect. So this is basically about the Snowflake partners. Okay, it is basically having a lot of connectivity with a lot of BI tools, ETL tools. That's what it is showing here. So for example, this Informatica, it has connectivity with, then you have Matillion ETL, then you have Talent also, then some BI tools you have, some machine learning and data science tools also. So what you can do is you can, if you want to, get a trial of this, you can click here and get a trial of that. Okay, so it will basically configure some databases for you in the Snowflake, and you can choose what database you want to work on with this tool. And then this particular tool, ETLeap, it will give you a URL to work on this, and it will give you connectivity with Snowflake to do stuff. For example, a better example would be Informatica. So if you say Informatica, okay, and it will say, okay, what database you want to work on, and you say Snowflake, which DB, I mean, multiple DBs you can select. I will say demo DB. Okay. So, and when you connect it, it will give you a sample trial Informatica URL. Informatica is a ETL tool, right? So there you can get this direct connectivity with Snowflake, and you can do your transformations, but that will come with a specific trial period. I think 14 days or something. Okay. So you can connect with Snowflake there and practice your Informatica stuff there. So this is what your connect with partner connect is here. So I did with Matillion. I mean, it has expired now. But when I do it again, I will show it to you just for your knowledge. From here, basically, you can connect these tools, talent, stream, whatever tools with your Snowflake, this trial account, and practice that as well. So this is where your partner connect comes in. See, get started with loading and analyzing your data in minutes. Automatically connect your Snowflake account with our partner applications available for a free trial. So this is nothing but a free trial with your partner connects, and the best partner award in recent time was given to Material by Snowflake. Okay, it was the best partner. And SQL DBM, this is a data modeling tool, guys. I mean, you can get your ER diagrams, created in this. For your data designing, you can do in this. Okay. This is your partner connect. This is your help. You can visit the Snowflake. Again, I will reiterate, this is documentation is very important. You should always read the topics here. And this is one of the best documentations I've seen. So be in touch with documentation always. Then there's a download panel here. Here you can download the external drivers to connect with the other technologies. Okay, so this client SnowSQL we will be downloading in a few days. And this is nothing but how we have a web, not a web, we have a client or IDE for Oracle, right? This SQL developer. It is little user friendly, but same you can do from command line interface also. You can go to command line and fire your connect with database and fire your queries. So that is a command line interface provided by Snowflake, this NoSQL. So whatever queries we are finding on this web UI, right? We can fire those queries on this command line also. So this is a command line client given to you by Snowflake. We will be seeing this in detail also because we will need this. And these are other Spark connectors and Python components and all that. If you want to connect with Java, with Python, so these drivers you will need to download. Then this notification tab we will see later on, but it is related to resource monitors. We'll see what we need to do here later on. But in a nutshell, this sends you alerts. This notification will send you alerts that so and so warehouse has consumed so much credits. It is about to consume. It is about to reach a threshold of the credits. Please take some action and all that stuff. So when we do resource monitors, we will see. But here you will receive alerts basically. Okay. Then this Snowsite is a recently provided app from Snowflake. So this web UI we are seeing, right? It is a legacy web UI. Okay, it's a normal web UI that we do development on, but this is an enhanced web UI facility provided by Snowflake, where you can do some visualizations also. So if I click here, okay, we will not be using it, but I'm just showing it to you. This thing doesn't disappear. Okay, so taking some time, see, and it's in a preview mode right now. Same user login you have to give. It is web UI only, but with better enhancements. It will give you dashboards basically. Okay, so you can give worksheets and you can also import worksheets. You can save them and import worksheets. Enable. You can import your worksheets, guys. Okay, if you write some SQL statements and all, you can go and import it from your Snowflake basically. That Snowflake web UI, right? So just now we had opened one worksheet. This one, right? So we can import it from the web UI. Same context area will be here, everything. Then we can, if we query it, I think I need to. Okay. Okay, here it is. DemoDB. No, it wasn't this only, right? That's a context I have set. Okay, context area. So see this, it will give you little visualizations also, query details, and I have not worked on this. So, but I know that these are some visualizations. It will give you some graphs and all that. You can have some charts also. It's basically more for analyst folks. Okay.
Abdul, I have a doubt. This is Venkat Abdul.
Yeah.
So you are showing that query window, no? See, I see the basics commands are generating. If I want to put, some inner join or left outer join, some complex query, is that possible to generate from the query window, or how it's, or a developer need to build on that kind of query?
Yeah. You have to write that. It is. I mean, it is not a kind of visualization tool. Okay. So you will have to write comma, whatever table you want, and then where clause, and then inner
So,
join,
so
like
syntax
that.
is going to remain same as SQL, or
Yeah.
maybe the Snowflakes will
No. This is
little bit different.
ANSI, native SQL, ANSI SQL
Oh,
only. Same.
okay.
Okay, so this is
Okay.
basically a SQL native. So the language of Snowflake Cloud Data Warehouse is native SQL. Okay, so all the SQL that works on Oracle SQL Server, all that will work here.
Can I create a stored procedure, that kind of thing?
Yes, we can create everything, and that's all there in the course.
Okay.
You can create functions also. You can create procedures also. You can create Java-based functions also. You can connect your Snowflake with Python also, with Spark also. Many things you can do. You can connect even with Excel. I can have a Excel here. Go to Excel. I can go to data. I can get data from, say, other sources. From ODBC, I will download a ODBC driver from Snowflake. I'll connect it with that. I can have Snowflake data coming to Excel also. Okay, many things we can do. Yeah, so we are not going to work on this Snow site. Anyway, it's in a preview mode right now. Okay, so I just wanted to show you that this is a new app similar to web UI only. You will do all your web UI stuff only, what you're doing here, but it has more dashboards provided, more visualization provided. So that is the advantage of that. But most of the folks are not using it right now because it is in a preview mode. Okay, so that basically marks the web UI tour, guys. We now know how to traverse through our web UI portal, how to set context, how to create warehouse databases, tables, uh, how to import our data set, all that stuff. Right now, I want you to do one thing. I will show you one picture now. I want to give an assignment. You can take 10 minutes for that. Let me show you a picture first. So see, this is the Snowflake container hierarchy. Okay, this question is asked in certifications. They will give you a certain order of hierarchy and ask you to choose which is the correct one. Okay, so see, this is the hierarchy. Organization comes first, then account, under account, user, role, database, warehouse, other accounts, objects, then under database, schema, table, view, stage, and all that. See, Venkat, stored procedure also. UDF, user defined function, other scheme objects. Okay. Now I want you to draw this chart, but you need to replace values. For example, this is the account. So I want you to replace your values with your account names. Okay. So for example, uh, mine would be this ON45165. And under that, I will give my hierarchy of users, account admin and all that stuff. Okay. So now look at this diagram and create a chart like this, but the values should be your specific values of your account, your user, your role, your database or whatever. Okay. You don't have to mention all the roles, all the databases, all the warehouses. You can just mention 111 for each part. Understood?
Whether we need to create and we need to show, or just a diagram enough.
If you see user, you have already, role also you have, databases also you have, warehouse also default you have. So you can use the default also, but if you want to create your own, you can do that also. Up to you. You will not have tables. So if you want to create a table, I'm okay with that. Okay. View and stage, we have not seen how to create, so you can leave that. But I want you to create with your values of your account values. Okay, guys. So I will go take a 10-minute break also. And once I come back, we will share screen and see how each one of you have drawn this stuff. Okay, so I will keep this open, or rather I will not keep it open. Okay, I will not keep it open. You have your web UI already created. I have shown you how hierarchy goes. Okay, I have explained this to you. You have your web UI opened with you. Now go create that hierarchy with your values. Okay, and I'll be back in 10 minutes. And the first to go will be Chidambaram. Guys, I will not be at my desk. Okay, I'll be back in 10 minutes. Okay, guys, I'm ready. Who all have completed? May I know?
I'm done.
Okay, Vinod is done. Good.
Abdul?
Yes, yes. Hello. Vinod, you are done, right?
Yeah, I'm done.
Yeah, Chidambaram, what about you?
I'm still doing.
Okay. Let's wait for Chidambaram, guys. Sudhakar, are you done? Okay, Vinod, I have made you the host. Can you share your screen and show what you have done?
Can you see my screen?
Yes, I am able to see.
So this is my account. Sorry,
Yeah.
this is my organization.
Yeah.
This is my, and this is my username, and I'm a sysadmin role. Under vsample DB is my database. vsample _ virtual warehouse. Under this, I think I need to include a schema name, which I forgot actually. Under the schema, the table will be there. So this is my account.
Yeah. Can you go to your web UI and show from there as well?
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
Yeah, and make a schema in between, which you just said you forgot, right? So
Yeah, I'll just make it. Okay, so
yeah,
this is my username. This is my org name, and
yeah,
you see this is my account name.
yeah,
Okay, and under the DB, I have vsample DB as my sample database, and under warehouses we have virtual warehouse, and I've created a table under database which is vsample table, which
yeah.
is vsample schema, which is the sysadmin owner.
Yeah,
So this is org actually.
correct, correct. So I hope, guys, you will follow what Vinod has done. Okay, Vinod, well done. Can you make me the host back, please?
Yeah, sure.
So, guys, this is important from the perspective because you should know the hierarchy. Okay, what object comes under what, right? And it is called, sometimes it is asked in certifications also. They will give you a specific hierarchy, and they will give you an options of specific hierarchies, and they will ask you to choose the correct one. Okay. So from that perspective, this to understand this Snowflake container hierarchy was important. So yeah, Vinod has done quite well, except for that schema, but he knew that he had missed it, so we can give it to them, give it to him. And so basically they will ask you like, okay, DB comes under account, this comes under org, and this comes under the table, and they'll give you account, then comes DB, then comes stage, then comes schema or account, then comes DB, then comes schema, then comes table. So this way, or even stage, whatever. So out of this, third option is the correct one. So this way they will, give you questions and certification sometimes. So it is very important to understand what is my hierarchy in Snowflake. Okay. So while doing the web UI tour and explaining the other tabs, I explained you the hierarchy as well. And this is the diagram. I'll be uploading this PPT anyway in our shared drive. So you can always refer to this. Okay, this is our hierarchy. Okay, guys. Now let's do a deep dive in virtual warehouses. Because we saw a few options while we were creating the warehouse. We saw a few options, right? So we will look at them in detail. So firstly, as I said, we can either create virtual warehouse from web UI or through SQL also. And this is the generic syntax for virtual warehouse. So create or replace a warehouse. Okay, if it does not exist, it will create. Give any name that you want. Then you can choose a warehouse size. And we all know it comes in X small, small, medium, large, X5, X6, whatever. Maximum cluster count was also there on the UI. Minimum cluster count was also there. We saw that. Scaling policy also we saw. Auto suspend, we saw the number of minutes we need to assign. Auto resume, if you're doing from SQL, either true or false. And these were the options we did not see on the web UI. So there are a few more options. Initially suspended. So once you create a warehouse, if you want it to be initially in a suspended mode, you can say true. Okay, so once you create a warehouse, it will be in a suspended mode. It will not be started. Then you can attach a resource monitor. We saw a resource monitor object, guys, in web UI under the accounts. If you remember, if you go here accounts, you saw something called as resource monitors. So resource monitors are, it's a separate topic. We'll be seeing what resource monitors are. Okay, so from the name itself, it says that it monitors the resources. So you can attach resource monitors to warehouses. And obviously it will monitor your warehouse, and we'll see how it does. So this resource monitor equal to monitor name that you will create there in the option that I showed you. And this comment was also there in the web UI. So basically it is, you can mention for what purpose you have created this warehouse. And there are some other options like max concurrency level. So up to how many, what is the concurrency level for queuing up the queries? Okay, up to how much level you want to queue it. Then I have not used this, and I mean I have not used these three parameters at all. And then statement queue timeout in seconds. So once your query is sitting in the queue and it is still not given the warehouse resources, it will time out in so and so seconds. And if the statement is also running for a long time from your virtual warehouse, up to what limit you want it to run, and then time it out. So that is the factor you can set here, that parameter you can set here. Statement in timeout in seconds. So this is for statement, and this is for queued statements or the queued queries basically. So you can create your virtual warehouse using this syntax. Okay. Let me see if I have the skills. Just a second, guys. I'm getting one call. Just give me 1 minute. Yeah, sorry guys, I'm back. Yeah, so I was explaining you the generic syntax for creating a warehouse. You can follow these steps, and some things are mandatory. Whatever you were seeing on the web UI, right? All that is mandatory. Otherwise, all the others are not. Then you can also automatically start or resume the warehouse. Okay, by alter statement also you can resume. It takes typically few seconds to start. Okay, but some in very rare instances, it might take a little longer, but that is very rare. Okay, once you say resume, it takes little milliseconds to start. Okay, so what happens is when you say alter warehouse resume, Snowflake basically provisions the warehouses or EC2 machines basically. So we know that warehouses, if your Snowflake is hosted on AWS, the warehouses part behind the scenes is EC2 instance service, correct? So what Snowflake does is when you say resume, it starts to provision the warehouses. Okay. And your credits are consumed once all the compute resources are provisioned. Until it is provisioning, they will not be consumed. Okay. And SQL execution also, that query execution, it does not start until all compute resources are successfully provisioned. Okay. Then billing is done. So we have seen this in the Snowflake pricing also, that billing is on per second basis, but with the 1 minute minimum each time your warehouse resumes. So every time you resume the warehouse, or by either automatically or either by firing this command, alter warehouse, the name of the warehouse, and resume. So for the initial 1 minute, even it works for 40 seconds or 50 seconds, still it will be billed for 1 minute minimum. Okay. And post that, if it goes longer than 1 minute, then it will be per second. Okay. And this credit consumption report. So we saw this billing tab here, right? Under the accounts tab, all this billing. So this will come to you. This is reported on a basis of hourly basis. Okay. I think it's in this one. Sorry, usage. Yeah. Credits used. This one. So you also saw in the configuration that it says when you select X small or small, it says 1 credit per hour, 2 credit per hour. So the billing internally is happening on per second basis with minimum of first minute. But the reporting of the total consumed credits will be on an hour basis. It will not keep on giving you the credits consumed. Okay, now 1 second you consume, so it is so much. 2 seconds you consume, so it's so much. Not like that. 1 hour will pass and then it will tell you, okay, your warehouse has consumed so many credits. So that is the reporting of credits. And how you can alter warehouse. This is the syntax, alter warehouse. This is your warehouse name, resume. Okay. So if I go to my worksheet, you can always go to your worksheets. Okay. So if you see, my compute warehouse is in a suspended state, right? Because this red color button is not coming here. And if I go to warehouses, and we can see the state there also, it says suspended. I can also resume it from here, guys. Okay. But I can also resume it from the SQL statement also. Okay. So now somebody got dropped off, I guess. Okay. So now my question is to Shiva. Shiva, my question is, I want to resume this warehouse. Okay. So in this context area, which database should I select?
It is regardless of database, right? It is at account level.
Exactly. So guys, this hierarchy, see, these warehouses, they don't come under databases. They are separate objects which come directly under the account. So obviously, when you are firing the SQL query here, okay, you will not need databases here. So if I don't select it also, okay, let me open a new worksheet. It's already selected here. Okay. Why is it selecting? Okay, never mind. So even if you don't select a database here, it will not matter because it is not a database object. Okay, and the provisioning or the resuming of this compute warehouses, it is done by which part of the Snowflake? Who resumes the warehouses? Who gives the queries to warehouses and says, okay, now get to work?
Cloud service.
Correct. So cloud service will resume this. See, statements executed successfully and a red button is coming here and it has resumed. Similarly, I can suspend. I have suspended it. Similarly, I can set the warehouse size. Currently, it is small, S. I can make it XS. See, it is XS now, extra small. So this I can do from web UI also. I can do through SQL commands also. Suspended, it can be suspended at any point in time. Okay. Even when the query is running, I can still suspend it. So consumption of credit stops as soon as all compute resources are suspended. Credits are consumed once all the compute resources are provisioned. Okay, so it's basically reiterating the point before this slide that credits are only consumed when all the compute resources are provisioned by doing the resumption of the warehouses. And as soon as all are suspended, the credit consumption also stops. Okay. All idle resources shut down immediately, while other busy resources are shut down once their processing finishes. Such resources are in quiet mode, although the status of warehouses changes to suspended. What it means is, we had this warehouse here, right? This test warehouse. Suppose we got a query assigned to test warehouse. Okay, and only one cluster was, so it is a 2 cluster, but only one cluster is enough, and it is working on that query currently. And I say suspend the warehouse. I issue a command, alter warehouse, suspend. So this is idle. I mean, suppose, for example, let me open a separate paint for a better clarity. It's little congested there. This is my X small 2 cluster node. Okay. Now, say I have a query coming in. I have some concurrent queries maybe, okay. Q1, Q2, Q3, Q4 like that. Okay. Now both my clusters are, say, processing these queries and they both are busy. Okay. Now, say my cluster 1 is done. It has processed its all the queries. It is now idle. But my cluster 2 is still processing the queries. Okay. Out of all these 4 queries, 2 of them, cluster 1 was processing. It got finished. Now it is just idle. Now this warehouse, this cluster, it is still working. And in that period of time, I say alter warehouse suspend. I suspend this warehouse. So this whole thing is warehouse. Huh? So immediately it will shut down the idle resources. So this cluster is idle, right? So immediately it will shut down, but immediately it will not shut down this one. It will let the query processing finish. Okay, so it does, although the status will be quickly shown as suspended, but this is something called as quiet mode. Quiet mode. Okay, it is about to be suspended, but it is holding time because your resource is busy doing something, some processing. So this is important to understand that it will not immediately shut down, but it will shut down once it finishes the processing. Simple. And you can do that with alter command, or it will automatically also suspend. As we know, we have that parameter here. auto suspend. Okay, up to how much time you want to allow it to be idle, you can do it from there also. But manually, if you want to do, you can do from alter also, or from web UI also you can do. Now comes resizing. See guys, I have told you about all this suspension, resumption, but when I'm telling you with further details, you are able to connect. So that's why I'm giving you little, uh, of each topic, because when we go into the deep dive, that will be making things more clearer to you. So that is the strategy behind that. So you can resize or scale up your virtual warehouse by this command, which we just saw also on web UI. Yeah, alter warehouse, computes whatever name your warehouse is, warehouse size, and up to either you want to scale it down or you want to scale it up to you, but it's generally a resizing. So resizing. If you increase the size, it will be scale up. If you decrease, scale down. Okay, guys, for scale out is increasing the clusters, right? So what should be the terminology for decreasing the cluster? What do you think should we call decreasing the cluster? For example, scale up is resizing to a larger size. Scale down is resizing to a smaller size. Scale out is increasing the cluster. So decreasing the cluster, what should we call?
Scale out only, same only.
No, scale in. Okay, scale in will be you're decreasing the cluster. Okay, see up, down, out, in, right? Opposite words. Okay, let's see a few properties of resizing also. Some important points are there in that. So it can be resized up or down at any point in time, guys. Even if your queries are running, then also you can resize it up or down. Okay. It enhances performance when running complex queries against large data sets. So if you have a very huge volume of data and your queries also, with different kinds of joins, conditions, then this will enhance your processing. When you're loading and unloading of large set of data into Snowflake and out of Snowflake. So when you're loading, you are loading into Snowflake. When you're unloading, you're taking data out of Snowflake. So that time when the data is huge, your warehouse resizing will help you. This is very important, guys, because this is asked in certification also. No impact on queries being executed before resizing. The new size will apply to all other queries queued in the warehouse. So if there is a large query, complex query running against your warehouse, and at that very moment, you decide to resize it, it will not impact the performance of your existing query which is running. I think Shiva had asked this question like maybe last week or last to last, I don't remember, but he had asked this. So there will be no impact on the existing queries that are running, guys. Okay, so the queries which are in the queue, which has not been yet allocated to the warehouse resources, they will utilize that resizing. Okay, but next time, if you keep that warehouse size resized as it is for a later day, and when that query comes, it will take the advantage of resizing. Okay, so this is very important. You should remember this from a certification basis also. And the note is, this you already know, but let me read out. A warehouse has to be specified for each Snowflake session for query processing, and only one warehouse per session can be assigned. Our session is nothing but the worksheets that we open here. This is session 1, session 2, and each session has to be assigned a warehouse. In some cases, it is not. We will know when. Okay. But 99% or 90% times you have to assign a compute warehouse, guys. Okay. Yeah, series. So concurrent queries, it is These are your queries which are concurrent. Okay, this is a single cluster warehouse. So these are your queries which are queued up, and this is a single cluster, guys, 2 Excel, and these are 2 clusters, 2 Excel, right? So it will see, it says Snowflake multi-cluster warehouse. So it will basically, if it's a single cluster, so it will, the concurrent queries which are queued up, they will wait for this resource to get free. But if you have multi-cluster, if this is busy, those other concurrent queries or which are queued up, they will be diverted to the other cluster. Okay, so they will not have to wait. But if both are busy,
Well, Abdul, I have a question here.
yeah.
So I have a query which I have to use 3 to 4 cluster. For example, I have a 10 cluster warehouse. I have the query which I have to use 5 clusters, right? So in this case, where do I specify, okay, this is the query, massive query, which needs 5 clusters at the same time. Where
Okay,
do
so
do I have option to specify this based on the SQL, the plan or ID that generates, or can I specify about any other using any other identifier to make performance better for the specific operations, right?
yes, but I want to clarify one thing. When we just said here that resizing needs to be done to enhance performance, not scale out. What you are saying is about clusters.
It's clustered. It's not about, I'm not going to resize. I'm not going to
So
make.
that will not help your query, because if it is, this is the rule of Snowflake. See, it says enhance performance when running complex queries by resizing. For to have concurrency in a better way, you should have to avoid queuing up the queries or concurrent queries, you should have multi-clusters, not for enhancing performance of query. For enhancing performance of query, it has to be resizing.
Okay, so scale out is only used for the concurrent purpose. Not.
Yes, exactly. For the, see, if you have so many queries coming and getting queued up, for that purpose, you have to have multi-clusters. Okay, but if you want to have a query processing performance, for the performance of query, if you want enhancement, then you should do resize.
Oh.
Okay, and this is asked in certification also.
So the parallelism cannot be achieved here, which means that it is a single cluster that can do processing of any amount of data. That is what you mean to say, right?
No, I don't mean to say that, because one cluster can have multiple nodes.
That is fine. That is fine.
So
It's a
is it
single
not
cluster, right?
parallelism? No. It is parallelism. This is parallelism. This is MPP. This single cluster has, say, 4 nodes. So my query can be divided in these 4 nodes, right? So is it not parallelism?
Yeah. That is, the parallelism can be only achieved inside the cluster. That is what you mean to say.
Yes.
The parallelism, that my question is, the parallelism cannot go beyond the single clusters, right? So if my query, the single query, the single job, let's consider the job. Usually in a production environment, the two in database, data warehouses, you cannot see a single table, right? You will see at least 10 to 15 products in dimension table and having aggregation group by blah, 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 many things, right? In this case, if I want to use a single job or a single query, some say SQL plan, which I may have to use 4 or 5 clusters in the same time. Is there any possibility that we can do it?
Okay, you're saying associate a query to a warehouse. You're saying like that.
Yeah, it's not a, I have a query SQL plan that you are saying, right? Blah, 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 some number. It is some SQL ID. I run every day in the morning 5 o'clock, right? Or evening 10 o'clock. For the particular job, I would say particular specific the task or specified particular job.
You're saying this SQL ID?
Yeah, SQL ID. If
no,
you see, right?
This is generated on the fly. When you run the query, then it is generated. You don't have it in advance.
No, for example, in if it's a plan ID, let's say it's a plan ID. Is there any plan ID that we have here? The plan ID will be always the same. When you run the same query again and again every day, right? The plan which generates by the service layer will remain same for the same query, which I believe. What I think.
No. So
We don't need
if you run the same query, it will take from cache. That is why I'm telling you, don't imagine. It is not like your traditional database. If you fire the same query again, your cloud service layer will take it from the cache. It will not even generate the plan.
Yeah, that is what I'm telling. Yeah, it's the plan ID. That is something. The plan ID for the same query. For sometimes the plan will be remain copied in the cache. The optimizer or whatever the service layer will pick the plan, right? In that case, is there any way that I can say for this plan, right? Use I should be able to use 5 or 6 clusters at the same time. Is there
Okay,
any way that
so
we can achieve this?
no. So it is no way like that. See, warehouses also when we configure, you will see it has not asked you to associate it with any query, neither in the syntax. So why you have to define your processes? See, like you have 3 processes in your system. Suppose ETL process where you are loading data. Okay. Then one is your reporting, in which you are saying you have that complex query, right? Where you are dimension tables with so many joins and all that aggregations and all that. So these are your processes. Okay. One is a separate entirely loading kind of a process. One is an entirely SQL or select queries or with joins and all that. You have to identify this, okay, and accordingly create warehouses for these processes. Okay, so for example, you said I need a 5 cluster warehouse for this process, this complex query. Okay, so you create a 5 cluster warehouse, and when you run this query, you associate this warehouse through the context that is here. Here, you run your query here, okay, and use this warehouse always. So that will be how you will be associating it. Okay, now let me do one more thing for you. Just a moment. You might probably this will answer your question. Okay, so let me show you a few statements. Probably this will answer your question. So this is kind of SQL script, okay, which will normally, so when you run your database scripts, you will not come and copy paste here, right? It will be basically running as part of job or as part of some stream, right? As part of some ETL. Those SQL queries will be running like that, correct? You will not be running from here, or maybe some Tableau report.
Yeah, some external application will run, some do a report or some job which will extract the data and send it to the different application.
Correct. Right? This is just an ID given to you for development purpose, right? So there will be some SQL script running. Say if your particular complex query is running on Tableau, suppose, let's just imagine. So first this will be my SQL script which will run. So this is the syntax which says use database. Okay, use database means which database. So if I say demo underscore DB, see it changed my, so my pointer is to now demo DB. Okay, then I want to change my schema also to my demo DB, whatever schema I have in demo DB.
I got it. Now, before we run the query, we are specifying our database schema and warehouse. I understand.
See, right? Yes. See here. See, now I will assign the warehouse also. Okay. Now this is part of your SQL script only, and now this is your SQL query.
Yeah.
This will be part of your SQL script.
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, for example, you say you created some warehouse which has 5 clusters, right? Right. Yeah. The maximum cluster size is 5. If you see the create warehouse, the syntax, the maximum create. If you see the maximum clusters, right? Here I can
It's
have a
10.
10 clusters, right? But I won't use it all the 10 clusters for a single query, right?
Yeah.
Most of the time I will just keep it. But when the big query I have, right, I runs, I would say, right, you can use even 10 cluster for this particular process.
Yeah, so if it, I mean, when is the day? So you decide that frequency of the query, na, at evening 6 o'clock or in a weekly or a monthly basis. So go and resize this cluster or scale out this cluster. I mean, this warehouse. You can do that. And again, you change the size once your query is going to come back in the next week. Or also one thing you can do. See, there are various things. Either you can create a separate warehouse for that particular query. Once it finishes processing, it will automatically get suspended anyway. You don't have to even worry about the charges. Correct? If you choose this 5 minutes auto suspend, or even you can, once your query is finished, you go and manually also you can suspend it, alter suspend it. So keep this big warehouse for your large query. Whenever it comes, make this auto resume. Use it with that SQL script which I just showed here. This one, okay. Once it comes, this will get triggered. This will get resumed. Your SQL query, that large SQL query will run with, which requires 5 clusters. Once the SQL query's processing is finished, either you give an auto suspension of 5 minutes, or either you go and do an alter warehouse suspend directly to this. You
Okay,
can do
okay,
that.
okay. Okay, I got it. So technically, you mean to say, even if you have the warehouse of 10 clusters, right? If
Yeah.
I run at a single time, a query can run only on the one session. My one user can only use the one cluster, right? Maybe 10, if you have a 10 cluster, 10 user parallelly can run, but the single user can only use one cluster in a warehouse. That is what you mean to say, right?
No, no, no. Where is that? Yeah. So see, if you have this is suppose one large query. This is one large query you are
Yeah,
having.
yeah, okay. It uses two clusters here, right?
Yeah. So it will. So that's what you're saying, right? See, firstly, I'll tell you one thing. If you create here, see the resizing, right? Resizing goes up to 5x, which means 256 machines in one cluster. Do you think you will ever need a query?
No. I'm not going to 5x large, right? I may use large or medium,
Yeah. Yeah.
but okay. Even so, as per the previous diagram, even a single query can use two clusters, right?
Yeah. See, it can spread
Yeah,
across. I'm
yeah,
not saying it will not spread across,
yes,
right? It can spread across, but
yeah,
you were saying that using one cluster will not achieve parallelism. So I wanted to correct you there, because one cluster can have multiple nodes, na, inside that
yeah.
one cluster.
Inside the single cluster itself, node-wise parallelism is happening.
Yes, of
But
course.
yeah, so I'm just want to confirm. Is that
Yes, absolutely. You are saying
parallelism
will it
can
spread across
happen
to other
inside
cluster
here?
if required?
Yeah. That is what my question. Got
Yes,
it.
it will spread across.
Yeah,
Okay, but
got
you
it.
see the size like 5x large, you can
Yeah,
resize it up to like that also. I
yeah.
mean, it should be more than enough. I mean, that's that's what I have seen in my real life
Yeah. I know. I
scenario.
just want to make sure. Do we have parallelism can be through the multiple cluster also? I already know
Okay.
that it can happen at node wise. All the four nodes inside the medium level warehouse can run parallelly and they can, and achieve the performance. But I just want to make sure the same query can be can use.
If required, it should go to
Yeah,
the
yeah,
other cluster or not. Yes,
yeah.
absolutely, it can go.
Yeah.
And when if somebody asks you the definition of Snowflake, always you can say Snowflake is a hybrid. Snowflake is a cloud data warehouse with multi-cluster shared storage and with MPP. MPP is nothing but massive parallel processing, right? With
Yeah.
MPP. So it is designed for MPP stuff.
Yeah.
So you know Hadoop architecture,
Yeah, I know.
HDFS.
Yeah, I know.
Okay,
Not that
so
much, but I know the architecture, how it was.
okay,
HDF.
no worries, no worries. It's okay. If not, if you don't know, that's fine. Even that is MPP only. But the only thing in that is there is a data locality. So your compute and storage are tightly coupled in those cases. In these cases, they are not, they are decoupled basically, but MPP is there still.
Yeah, I understand now. I completely got how it works for the higher requirement of VCH. Yeah.
Right. And once your query is done, you can suspend it also. So you will not be charged for it. So for a monthly query, if it's a monthly report you're generating, so it's good now. You can have a separate warehouse for it, which works in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, and your job is done. I just loaded in one of my in my previous batches. Let me show you the data. It is 100 GB data. I loaded that. I'll show you the sample data I showed you, right? That's share given by Snowflake. So there is one schema here. If you look at this customer table, see it is, which one was that? Catalog data, I think. Yeah, see the rows, 10 GB data. I loaded this with Excel size. What will be the Excel size? Yeah, X large is 16 nodes. Within 3-4 minutes, it loaded that 10 GB data. I mean, I was copying this data into some other table as it is. So I used a Excel X large warehouse for that. So in 3-4 minutes, it loaded. And once I was using Xmon, so it was taking, so it would took around 25 to 30 minutes, I guess, for small or XS, I guess. I don't remember. But it was taking very long time for that. So I aborted that query and I changed the size to Excel just for that loading purpose only. I loaded it in 5 minutes and I again resized it to XS.
Yeah, I got it, Abdul. Thanks. I think I'm taking others' time.
No problem. I will, when I show you clustering and micro partition, I will be doing that demo anyway.
Yeah.
Okay, guys. So remember this point. For complex queries, resizing works best, and for concurrent queries, multi-clustering works best.
Abdul, this is Venkat. I have a doubt.
Yes, welcome.
So,
Yes.
as a developer, how do I know whether there is an issue in the concurrency or in the query? So, whether I need to increase the cluster or indexing? How do I, a developer, I can see that one?
That is a good question. I will have to look into that. There are some, system views provided by Snowflake, where you can see what all queries are in the queues. I can get that for you in the documentation. From the documentation, give that particular system queue view to you, and then I can tell you how you can see.
Okay.
On the top of my mind, I don't remember the system view name, because if you see this information schema, right, there are a lot of views provided. So on top of my mind, I'm not remembering.
No issues. Maybe I do also.
Okay, I will check that anyway, because there's so many table functions and there. Trust me, there are tens of thousands of functions in Snowflake documentation. Okay, so that's why it is very handy. I mean, you don't have to remember things; just remember the concepts, and you can always go and check, like what is result scan and what table functions. Just go and check that. Okay, so guys, I think we will stop here. It's 10:15, or do you want me to explain this last point? Maximize and auto scale. It will take another 20 minutes, I guess, at least. Okay. Anyway, I will just simply tell you what is a maximize mode, and then we will discuss.
Maybe just you can give an heads up. Maybe
Yeah.
the
Sure,
next
sure.
class will detail. We can.
Sure. I will just explain on a surface level. So maximize mode, guys, is when your maximum cluster and minimum cluster, right, count values are the same. So for example, this one, or no, let me open one another one, something like that. So when the count of maximum clusters, say I want 4, and I want minimum clusters also as 4. When this happens, right, it means I am in maximized mode. See, this mode is enabled by specifying the same value for both maximum and minimum number of warehouses. Note that the specified value must be larger than 1. Okay, so if you have just one cluster, okay, there will be no option to select minimum clusters. Okay, so this will not be called as because this is again, this is, I mean, maximum cluster is 1, so obviously minimum cluster will also be 1. So you can say that maximum cluster is equal to minimum cluster. So that will not be maximized mode, guys. Okay, we cannot call this maximized mode, but more than 1 if you have some value set, and when both maximum cluster and minimum cluster are there, the count is equal, then it is called as maximized mode. And what is the property of that? In this mode, when the multi-cluster warehouse is started, Snowflake starts all the warehouses so that the maximum resources are available while the multi-cluster warehouse is running. So when you resume this warehouse or start this warehouse, all the clusters will be started, all the 4 clusters in maximize mode. Okay, that is the property of this. So whether your query throughput or your concurrent queries use all of them or not, it's not Snowflake's headache. You have asked for a maximize mode. It will charge you for all the active clusters. So if you give this, you have to be very careful. And they have also mentioned. So guys, these definitions are coming from Snowflake only. Okay, I don't write these definitions. So these are all Snowflake recommendations. So this mode is effectively for statically controlling the available compute resources, particularly if you have a large number of concurrent user sessions or queries and numbers that do not fluctuate significantly. So what it means is, if you know that for a certain period of time, my load will be same only. It will be heavy only. It is going to be a large amount of concurrent users. So many queries are going to come and queue for a period of 5 hours continuously. Not that for half an hour it was high, then after that 1 hour there was a lag, there was nothing in between. Then after 1 more hour, a lot of data came, a lot of queries came. Not like that. If you are very sure that for my next 4 or 5 hours, my query load is going to be very high, I can use this maximize mode. That is what they're trying to say. And the property is, once you start this warehouse, all the clusters will get activated. Okay. But opposed to this, when we had chosen minimum cluster less than what our maximum cluster was, so this means that only one cluster will be active even when you start. Even it is a 4 cluster warehouse, but minimum cluster that you have chosen will be active. Okay, so obviously if you choose minimum as maximum only, so this means that you want to activate all of them once your warehouse starts. So this is what is maximized mode. Okay guys, and auto scaling is basically the opposite of it, when you have different values of maximum and minimum number of warehouses. Okay, that is what is auto scaling. So in this, the Snowflake will dynamically manage the load. So it will dynamically start and stop the warehouses. In this mode, Snowflake starts and stops warehouses as needed to dynamically manage the load on the multi-cluster warehouse. So if it is a four cluster warehouse and you have chosen minimum as 1, so initially it will activate 1 cluster, and as per the use, as per the load, Snowflakes will automatically or dynamically manage the other warehouses, whether you need to start them at appropriate time or shut down at appropriate time. Okay, that is what is called as auto scale mode. And the way of starting and shutting down the warehouses, Okay, how to do that? What will be the factor that I should shut down and why should start and whatever? That will be governed by the scaling policy, which is nothing but this scaling policy, either standard or economic. So this will only be active when you are in auto scale mode, which is maximum cluster is not equal to minimum cluster. This will not be active for maximized mode, because maximized mode means start all together, whether they are used, those resources are used or not. Okay, so this is an overall. We will see standard and economy a little in a little detail tomorrow. Yeah, and we'll stop here because that will require some time, some 15-20 minutes more to understand what standard versus economic policy is. Okay, and tomorrow I will also give you certain useful queries or context functions that you can fire and on your web UIs and select and see what it is doing. Okay, I will show you all this handy kind of queries. See guys, this is with the SQL. I was looking for this only actually. Through SQL also you can create a warehouse. Worksheet. Because I'm creating a VW warehouse for data loading stuff. XMON warehouse type will be standard. Then auto suspend is at 300. Auto resume is 2. Min cluster is 1. Max is 3. This is standard scaling policy and all that. See, warehouse successfully created. And if I go to warehouses, it will show me. And initially, I should have said suspended actually. Okay, so let me. If I use this property here, initially suspended equal to false. If you see here earlier, it got automatically started, right? So I should have used this property, created again. So let me drop it. I think it should be true. Initially suspended equal to true. Yes, sorry, true. Created. Yeah, it's suspended. So I am going to upload this SQL queries also in the drive, guys. So you will have access to all these things. I will just explain all this, what they do tomorrow, and then I will upload it in the drive. Okay. Any questions related to the topics today?
Maybe this Venkat, I have one question.
Yeah.
Can we create a customized role, or in existing role can we make some changes? The reason why I'm asking is that maybe I have a sysadmin role. I don't want to give the properties of sharing the data. So how this can be achieved?
You are a sysadmin role and you don't want to give sharing privilege to someone else.
I don't want to give him. I don't want to give the option in sysadmin for sharing the data. So I may be in a org level role. So whether we can create a customized in Snowflake or existing role, can I change the property? Is this possible?
You can create a customized role also. So if you go to your web UI, go to account, go to roles, create your customized role. You can do that also. And you can inherit certain values if certain privileges from some role if you want, as a parent role if you want. Okay, so you can create customized roles.
But it's showing that parent role. See, in that
Yeah,
parent
you can
role,
create from here also. Create a role without giving parent role. Create a role. Dev role. There's no parent role. But guys, see, this topic is going to come. I mean,
properties also like data market. I don't want to give the data market.
Yes,
apart from
yes.
shares. That
See, this topic is going to come. Okay, we are going to see everything in detail. Because if I tell, I mean, this might be a little confusing for somebody else who's trying to listen to this, because this whole thing will come in that topic, that roles and so see, there's so many slides for that.
okay.
Wait, I will show you. See, this this role-based access. Okay, this how access flow is in Snowflake. What are the system-defined roles? What they do? What is this define this hierarchies? What are roles? How to create them? What are grants? Okay, this will all come, but when the time comes. So you will have to wait a little for that. Okay.
Okay, sure.
Okay. Anything related to today's topic, guys? I can take your questions, or if you are not having any questions, we can stop.
Maybe Abdullah, I have one feedback actually.
Yeah.
Maybe when you're giving the demo, taking that maybe 10 or 15 minutes in between, can you give some past and ask user any doubts? Because continuous if you are going, they have doubts also in between, they could not ask. Maybe if you complete one topic, you can give some pass and ask some users. So anybody have some question, everybody can raise. That will be really helpful. Maybe that's my suggestion.
Sorry, I didn't get you. You're saying give one topic and
Maybe
then ask
when you're
question, or
completing one topic, and maybe not asking question. Once you complete one topic and moving to other topic, you can give a pass and give to the user. If they have any question, they can raise.
okay.
Because if somebody could not understand, uh, they could not catch the first what you taken and second what you taken. If you give some pass in between, their doubts, maybe I have the doubt, I can raise. Just my suggestion actually. Maybe
No,
if you
that
are
is
taking
fine.
half an hour, in 15 minutes in between pass, you can give to users. If they have doubts, they can utilize that sometimes, because maybe sometimes user will not try to interrupt when you take a session actually. So they will not ask questions also. That's my suggestion.
Okay. So you are saying complete whatever topic I am completing, and then I should say, okay, this much is completed. Now ask questions. You are trying to say, right? Like
Yes.
I complete this warehouse till here, and then I will say, okay, ask questions that way.
Yes. If you give some
Okay.
pass, if somebody have some questions also, they can raise actually before moving to another topic actually.
Okay.
Because
Actually, I'm not
sometimes
really
if
understanding
if
like
we keep
what.
in between, we it's difficult.
So you are
Why I'm
asking
asking is that
people
in
to
between
ask questions later, or you are asking
no. Why
me
I'm
to?
asking is that, see, in between disturbing you also in the session is difficult. No, Abdul, when you're continuously taking and disturbing in between, little bit it's hard also. Maybe if you give some pass in between after completing one topic, so if
Okay.
any doubts are there, that will be really helpful actually.
Okay.
And that
Guys.
questions also, it will be helpful for others also. They can also get clarified, and it will helpful
Okay.
for everybody.
Okay. So guys, from tomorrow, what I'll do is whatever topic we have. So for example, we'll start with this auto scaling, right? Tomorrow. So once I finish this auto scaling, I will stop here, and then you can ask your questions, and then we'll move to the other topic. So that is the pattern we will create from now on. You are asking that only, right?
Yes.
Okay. Okay,
Because
no problem.
so if we didn't understand also, will not it is difficult to stop also. That's the reason.
No, that is fine. We will. So guys, we will, I will complete one topic, and then I will ask you guys to ask questions. So don't interrupt me also in between, so that, maybe others might get confused. And also my request is, please have trust. Everything is going to be covered. But if you ask something which is very futuristic, I have no issues to answer. I have completed 2-3 batches. I can answer you from whatever topic you ask me. But if you ask me, then others might get confused, because, that topic has not come yet, and I mean, I can understand the excitement because we're all experienced people and we want to know, like, what will happen if this scenario comes or that scenario comes. If it is related to the topic we are covering, it is very good because others will also understand, something might open up for them. But if there is something related to a futuristic topic, that might confuse them, and it will also digress ourselves from what we are studying, the current topic that we are studying. So have trust, we are covering everything. So once that particular topic comes, you can ask whatever questions you want, okay, so in that topic. Fine. So this is my feedback also.
But okay, but maybe I have concern in that. See, we'll not know Abdul. Maybe that may cover in deep. We are not knowing about Snowflake that may cover or not. Just if it's going to covered in the future, you can tell upfront. Okay, this may be covered in this part. That will be
Okay,
okay.
okay, fine. I will
That's
tell you
enough.
upfront. Whenever, if it is a topic which is going to come in future, I will tell you that we will cover that in future.
Yes.
Okay. So I think you don't want in between questions. You want a topic to complete, and then people should ask questions. I think that is what your concern is. The other concern.
In between, no, in between
No,
also
see,
it's okay.
you just see, be frank. Okay, let's not be so diplomatic. Just tell me, do you want people to ask questions after I give a break for asking questions, or you are saying that they should not, I mean, see, if you say don't ask in between, then basically you are asking the participants to not ask in between.
Yeah,
Okay.
see,
So let's be very clear about it.
Abdul or Venkat, I see my way of learning is I want to stop at the same instance and get it clarified. So I prefer to do that. But if someone feels that okay, others are getting confused as I question, but I ask only the topics which is being taught at this time. I don't usually go beyond the scope and ask question. But if you get confused that I'm asking question in between, then I'm also okay to wait till the time Abdul say, okay, now you can ask question on the particular topic. That is also fine for me, Abdul. But
For
whatever you
me, it
like.
is fine whether you stop me in between, uh, or whether you want me to first complete that topic and then give some space of time and say, okay, now ask your question. I am okay for both. I am fine because, everybody is different and everybody has a different way of learning. Like Shiva might want to stop then and there and say, okay, tell me about this. And somebody might be like, okay, I'll first listen to the whole thing and then ask. Everybody is different. So I really don't want to, tell any one of you that either of you is wrong or something. If you guys have a set pattern, you want to create a rule for yourself, we will follow that, not a problem.
Yeah.
Because I have to answer anyway. I mean, you stop me in between or once I complete, I have to anyway answer to all of you.
Because
So
I see, because I forget, because for example, if you are telling 10 points in a topic, right? If I have
yeah.
the question in the first point, after completion of 10 point, if you ask what was the doubt you had in the first point, right? I have, so go back and recollecting, it's such a big topic. It's a big topic. Then we cannot keep track of all these note and ask question. So I always prefer to ask at the same time and immediately. Venkat, you also can ask the say, question whenever you had doubt or a question when Abdul is teaching something.
Yeah, it's okay. I say I'm absolutely fine. I'm asking also. Just what I'm telling is that say once completed on major topic and moving to other topic, just we can give you a pass. Okay, this completed. If anything doubts, whether we can go. Uh, just I'm telling maybe if that is good, that is available. It's okay. But okay, I'm okay fine in between shopping also. That's not an issue. I'm keeping asking.
no, I am
repeatedly.
okay with anything. I mean, whatever you guys are okay, I am okay with that. I mean, but you will see, but Venkat, you will have to be a bit clear because it seems that you are getting, I mean, I'm not getting the right choice of word. Maybe it is disturbing you when the questions are asked in between. So be
No,
clear
no,
because
No, it's not disturbing, Abdul. See, I'm totally, I am no getting the question what she was asking. That's absolutely okay. Just what I'm trying to tell is that if some topic completed, okay, this completed, maybe can we move to the next? Anybody else? No, if somebody has some views,
But I
no,
think
we
I
can
am
discuss
already
that.
anyway doing that. So once I
Yeah, yeah.
explained that warehouses on the web UI, I just stopped and said any questions, and then I think Shiva also asked more questions on this. So I am anyway saying in between any questions on this topic till here.
Yeah, it's okay, Abdul. Just I'm giving a feedback. That's all, Abdul.
Okay, I mean, I do not understand like what is the exact problem you have, because what I sense is that probably you are asking to have a rule when asking questions, like nobody should ask in between. First, we need to complete a topic, and then you all guys can ask me questions. That is what I am getting from what you are giving the feedback.
No, not like that, Abdul. That is not thing. Anybody can ask anytime.
Anytime.
That's I'm also anytime. That's also okay. What I
Okay.
told is that after completing some major topic, before moving to some other topic, just give 1 minute, some pause, so that if anybody has doubt, maybe we can discuss and we can complete and before moving. That way, I given a suggestion. That's all.
Yeah, but I think I
In
have
between,
already,
it's
that's what
okay
I'm
for.
trying to say. I have already mentioned, Shiva, have I not said many times after completing the topic that please ask if any doubts?
Yeah, I think couple of times I noticed Abdul usually ask if you have any questions or not. But some topic means I didn't understand. So every, because it's a series of subtopics and all small subtopics, and then we'll, that is how we proceed the course. But I still don't understand what Venkat is telling. So
No, I
how
mean, see, this is,
frequently we
I'm
have the
talking
classes?
about, this is currently I'm talking about virtual warehouses. Okay. So if I come to information schema, I will stop and say, okay, any doubts, like we started this. All the while I have been today just talking about virtual warehouses only. Okay. And in between also, I gave that exercise and we had a pause. I asked you also, is there any issue in this, guys? I mean, did you understand it or not? So after once I started warehouses, it was all warehouses only. So, I mean, of course, I mean, if I check my own recordings, I will see a lot of in between where I've said if any questions are. So I'm not exactly getting what the issue is. But I am getting a sense it is more to do
See,
with
Abdul,
asking
it's
questions in
okay,
between.
Abdul. Whatever taking. No. It's you are taking really good, Abdul. That's okay. Just I given some feedback. Maybe some pause in between completing a major topic, moving to another topic. If you give some pause, just I given suggestion. But in between asking
Yeah,
questions,
so
first time
I just before
whatever you are
moving
taking,
to,
it's good only, Abdul. There is no
no,
second
that
thought
is
at all.
fine. That is fine. Before moving to auto scale, before finishing here, I just, even the class is over, I just said if any doubts for these topics, let me know. Okay, I did not close the class, right? I mean, for the next half an hour also, if you ask me doubts, I will answer your questions for the topics we just covered. So I stopped here, right? Before moving on at all.
It's not. See, actually, Abdul. Actually, it's not to me or Shiva. Just no generalized. I told somebody no. They
No,
feel
so let them
interrupt
speak for themselves.
in.
No? I mean, the other
No,
folks who are
it's a
there.
generalized for me also. It's for me also. Somebody feels so they will interrupt in between. They take or somebody they will not interrupt. Actually, that's the reason I given the suggestion. That's all. Abdul. Nothing more.
See, I am okay with both. If you want to interrupt me in between, and anyway, from my side, I am anyway making it a point to ask questions after some particular topic ends. But if somebody wants to interrupt, I mean, I cannot control them from my side. I mean, if it is your choice and you want others to not interrupt, you will have to tell them. Because I cannot tell them that as an instructor, because everybody has a different way of learning. I mean, uh, you will have to request them that please don't ask in between.
Yeah, Abdul,
No,
maybe I am
Abdul,
you are
he did
taking
not
wrong
say,
thing.
Abdul, he did not say others should not ask question. His question was not that. He's not telling that. He's telling even if someone have a question in between, they are free to ask. That is what Venkat is also telling now. But
Yeah, but earlier he was, I think, not saying that, right?
No, no, Abdul. I was just telling that only, Abdul. Abdul, everybody can ask anytime. That's I'm also okay. Maybe I think you've taken the wrong sense. Maybe
Okay. So you
maybe
are saying
some
everybody
communication
can
gap.
ask in
Can
between.
ask a question at any time. That's okay. If once completed, if you give a pass and moving to other, if you give a pass, that will be helpful. If somebody know in between they are not disturbed, they can. That will be opportunity to ask question. Maybe that may be opportunity for me also. Just I'm telling.
Okay. So others asking in between is not a problem.
Yes, that's not a problem. Maybe some
Okay. So
communication
now
gap.
let's
That's all.
address the other issue. I have always stopped in between and said, do you have any questions? So why do you think I have not done that?
No, no, just you are asking, Abdul. Just what I'm telling is that maybe that pass break, I don't know whether it's a 10 minutes or 5 minutes or 15 minutes. That I could not decide. But only thing what I'm trying to tell, if completing a major topic and moving to other topic, if some were doubts in before topic, anything need to be discussed, we'll discuss and before moving to the other topic. Just I'm telling
So
you.
you are
It's a
saying
kind of
I am not asking to ask. I'm not asking. I'm not stopping and saying now. Do you have any doubts? Are you saying that?
not like that, Abdul. You are asking and everybody asking doubts also.
So in between, people are asking that you're okay, and I am also asking when I stop at some time and saying, do you have any doubts? So then where exactly is the problem? If both the conditions are met, if both are true, then what is the problem?
See, maybe what I thought is that, see, maybe, okay, I think, I'm
No,
not
it's
sure.
okay. I mean, you can explain.
See,
I am
it's not,
trying to
see, it's not
understand
a
your
kind of
concern.
serious, I'm not sure, little bit, I think we're taking this serious. I'm not, see, what you're taking, it's
No,
absolutely fine, Abdul.
you're learning here, so I have to take
It's
seriously.
absolutely, it's good. Just I given my kind of a suggestion only, Abdul. What are taking, it's good, and in between they are asking, I'm fine. That's all okay. I'm just giving a suggestion alone. Maybe
Okay,
normally
so
that's what I feel actually when I take some thing. No, normally I move from one topic to major topic to other topic. I might give some pass and ask audience if there are any doubts before I move to a major. That's the reason I communicated to you.
so basically you are saying I did not do that, right? So first point is fine. People asking the questions in between is fine. But you are saying the others part where moving from one major topic to some other topic, I did not give a pause in between. That's you're trying to say? I will see if you don't tell me your problem
See, you
exactly,
are.
then I will not understand, right? Your feedback. I have to know where exactly because till now I'm not clear. The first point
See,
is clear. You are okay with people asking questions in between. You are okay. This point is clear.
yes,
You are okay
yes,
with.
absolutely
Okay. So
clear.
that point is removed
See,
now. Let's
that
forget that.
major. See, second point is that, see, that it's major topic. Whether from moving from one topic, that you should only decide, Abdul. I'm new to Snowflake. No, see, if you're moving from one area to other area major, that you can only decide. I cannot decide. Okay, this is a 5 minutes break, or I can ask questions or 10 minutes. That's absolutely with you actually.
Correct. Of course, I will have to decide, okay, this is a new topic that I am entering into. Absolutely correct. So when did I not do that? I'm asking you. There might have been some instance where I had taken 4 or 5 topics together, and then you might have felt, oh, I wanted to ask doubt in that topic, and he directly moved to the other topic. So was there any instance which happened, or it did not happen? You're
No,
just
no, no. See, no, no.
giving me, I mean, suggestion like do like this.
Yes. No, no, just a suggestion only.
Venkat, one more question. So
To
you
me,
want to even a subtopic also you want, for example, we have auto scaling and maximum scaling. Or what is that?
maximized mode,
Maximized volume or auto scaling
maximized
mode,
mode.
maximized mode or auto scaling. You want to give the pass for even for this subtopics also
Not
to
subtopics, not required, as you know.
see now there are warehouse. Now we are discussing about warehouse, right? How we can set up the warehouse, what are the option we have while set up the warehouse through UI or through statements, right? These are the topic that we have. It's a major topic, right? This is a topic that we have been discussing. Here, we completed till the auto scaling and the same topic. It is we are in the same topic. We have completed till auto scaling. And the end, Abdul asked, okay, if you have any question, ask, right? Today, did you face any problem of do you
maybe I would
you
have
had any
missed
need?
up.
Do you have any need
See,
for Abdul
see,
to stop in between, Venkat?